With my prediction for League 2, I only talked about promotion and relegation, but I'm going to go into a little more detail about League 1, as I feel I have a bit more knowledge of the teams participating in it, particularly at the top end. So I will be predicting every team's finishing position, starting with first and working all the way down to 24th. So a brief overview of League 1. Last season Portsmouth and Derby won automatic promotion, while Oxford stunned everyone by winning the playoffs. They'll be replaced in League 1 by Birmingham, Huddersfield and Rotherham. At the other end, Cheltenham, Fleetwood, Port Vale and Carlisle dropped into League 2, while Stockport, Wrexham, Mansfield and Crawley Town came up. I've had a look at what the bookies think, and Birmingham are clear favourites to go straight back up, unsurprisingly. Bolton, Rotherham, Ryan Reynolds, Wrexham and Huddersfield are also among the favourites, while Crawley are largely tipped to return to League 2. Before we go any further though, what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments. Please consider subscribing if you're enjoying my content so far. And on to my predictions. Who's going to win the League 1 title first? Well, there's one team that stands out, and it has to be Birmingham City. They're the biggest club at this level. They've already spent a fair bit of money, and they've signed Alfie May from Charlton, who was last year's top scorer. He'll bang goals in for fun in this strong Birmingham side. I think they'll run away with it, to be honest. Second place was a difficult one to predict. For me, it's likely to be between Huddersfield, Bolton, Barnsley and maybe Rotherham. But after narrowly missing out last year, I think it'll be Bolton who gain automatic promotion. They'll be under a lot of pressure to return to the Championship, but I think they know what to expect from this league, and that gives them the edge over the team in third, which I think will be Huddersfield. Another very strong team from the Championship. They've made a few signings already, and I think it'll be very close between them and Bolton. I think the next two will be a bit behind Bolton and Huddersfield, but they'll be very close to each other. I've gone for Barnsley 4th and Rotherham 5th. Both strong squads with new managers, and although I've put them both in the playoffs, either could finish second behind Birmingham. Barnsley have appointed Darryl Clark, while Rotherham have reappointed one of their previous managers, Steve Evans, who joins from Stevenage. I can see both having strong seasons. It's going to be very close for the last playoff place. I think the top 5 will be well clear of the rest, but the next 4 will be in contention for 6th and a shot at the playoffs. Charlton, Blackpool, Peterborough and newly promoted Hollywood-backed Wrexham will be fighting for that 6th place. Peterborough are managed by Darren Ferguson. They've lost a lot of players, yet always seem to find a way to compete in this league. Wrexham have a great manager in Phil Parkinson and a huge budget. Blackpool have the threat of Jordan Rhodes, and Charlton, despite losing top scorer Alfie May, have acquired Matt Godden from Coventry. I'm going to say Peterborough 6th, edging out Wrexham, who will be 7th. They'll be very closely followed by Charlton in 8th and Blackpool 9th. So those are the teams I think will be battling for the playoffs. But this is a very close league, so any of these next few teams could be up there. Before we look at the rest though, who's winning the playoffs? If my predictions are correct, it's Huddersfield against Peterborough and Barnsley v Rotherham in the semi-finals. I think both of last year's Championship teams will win those ties, and Huddersfield will put the Wembley defeat to Forest behind them by beating Rotherham. So there you go, Huddersfield Town to go up through the playoffs. I think Wigan will be leading the rest. I've put them 10th. Newly promoted Stockport will be 11th, with Reading 12th. I think Exeter, managed by Gary Caldwell, will have a decent season and surprise a few people. I'm putting them 13th, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them finish higher. The next few teams could go anywhere, really. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a playoff push or a relegation fight amongst them, but 14th, I've said Lincoln City. 15th, I've gone with Wickham. 16th, Mansfield Town, which I think they'll be happy with, and 17th, Bristol Rovers. What do you guys think so far? Let me know in the comments. So these are the teams I think are going to struggle this season. There's 7 teams left: Burton, Cambridge, Crawley Town, Leyton Orient, Northampton, Shrewsbury and Stevenage, with 4 of them going down. Leyton Orient have lost their top scorer but made a number of signings. I think they'll struggle, but overall they'll be too good to go down, so I'm going to start off by putting them in 18th. Stevenage have lost manager Steve Evans to Rotherham, which is a big loss, but they're too good to go down, so I've put them in 19th. So who's going to be the last team to stay up? I expect it to be very close with the bottom 5, but I expect the signing of James Wilson from Port Vale to give Northampton the edge, so I'm putting them 20th. I think it'll be so close that it could go down to goal difference. Unfortunately, if I haven't mentioned your team yet, that means I think you're going to go down to League 2. Let's start with the relegation places. Cambridge United only just stayed up last season. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be so lucky this season. It'll be very close with Northampton, but I think unfortunately they're going to finish just below the line in 21st. Next, I've gone for Shrewsbury Town. They've lost a lot of players and haven't really brought in many replacements, so I'm putting them 22nd. This will be really disappointing if you're a Burton Albion fan, but I've put you 23rd. Had Cheltenham won on the final day last season, they'd already be in League 2. They, like Shrewsbury, have lost a lot of players without really bringing a lot of quality in, which leaves newly promoted Crawley. They did really well to get promoted through the playoffs last year, but I think the step up is going to be way too much for them. I can't see much joy for them this season, so I've put them 24th. So that's my League 1 prediction, but I'm interested to hear what would you change about it? Who do you think's going up and who's going down? If you're enjoying my content so far, please consider subscribing to this channel. I'll be posting my Championship and Premier League predictions over the next few days, so don't forget to switch on notifications for those updates.